Hi everyone. So I came out here today. The weather's been much better, cooler yesterday and today. It's really nice. It's in the 60s, but there's a really nice windy breeze and it's on the chill side. It's nice. I ended up meeting a younger person, a younger guy out here on the track, and we ended up having a pretty nice conversation actually. We walked the track together for quite a good amount of time, and we talked. And I guess I'm gonna make the video in my car because I was planning on making it out there, but it is quite windy and I ended up doing the walk anyway. So I'll make the video here. That's fine. I wanted to talk about this taking a visit, a look back at our forgotten history again, and how fascinating that topic is. Personally, to me, I love talking about these things. I recently came across a YouTube video. That's the one thing I really love about this platform, even though it's full of garbage and useless stuff here. There's plenty of that, trust me on that one. But there's also a lot of good channels and hidden gems that you don't always see. And I came across this channel not that long ago. It's a Chinese channel actually, but the guy he has subtitles in it, so you can actually read everything and understand what's going on, which is cool. It's a pretty good tool to use. But this guy, he's like one of these people that he goes to these places in China. And China, forget about the politics and all that garbage because we know about all that, right? But China has such a rich history when it comes down to culture and things of that nature. But I also read somewhere a while back that a lot of their own history, there's a lot of fabricated stuff. And there is a lot of question marks and things that they don't even know about themselves over there because of so much stuff that has been lost, forgotten, or just basically destroyed and altered. So this guy has a channel. He goes around to places in China, these remote places that are not known by a lot of people, and they're always like archaeological ruins of some sort, of places that are still there, that still exist, buildings, all kinds of like amazing things. The other day he went to this, it was like on this mountain, right? And what it is whoever lived there, they hollowed out this whole mountain and they made it like a building. And people lived there. I mean, I don't know how long ago, but fascinating. So he goes inside and he's filming the whole thing, and you can clearly see that whoever put that place together, whoever built that place, they had technology. They had to have technology because you see the marks on the walls of all the rooms that he visited inside of this place, and you could clearly tell that some type of machinery was used to carve out, to hollow out the stone and make it into like a place where they could live. Truly amazing stuff. Unbelievable. I love it. I love it. And so this guy is like, he's the Chinese version of, Paul Cook, the British guy, boots on the ground type of thing, or David Wayne here from New England. You know, he goes to places and he films it, and then he talks about it. And I am truly impressed with this channel. I wish I remembered. Maybe when I get home and before I publish, if I find it, I will put a link on the description so you can check out the channel yourself if you're curious about it. But I'm telling you, this stuff, there is so much on this earth that we have yet to uncover when it comes down to our own forgotten history that we don't know about. There are so many places that are probably still just sitting there waiting to be found. And only God knows how many of these places have been found, perhaps in recent times, that nobody even knows about because it's not spoken of. Sometimes it's suppressed, depending what it is. Many times, actually, just go look at the history of the Smithsonian and all the things that they do. UNESCO and all these government entities that they play roles in these things. But there are many places that I guarantee you that still haven't been discovered and found. There's that place in the Amazon that they've been looking for a long time, the Gold City that they call it. And I'm trying to remember here. The Longyou Caves in China. That's another thing that's mind-blowing. That stuff was found very, very recently. It was in the early 90s. I think it was either 92 or 96. 92, 96, 94. I can't remember exactly the year, but it was in the early 90s. Early to mid 90s, they found this place. Nobody knew about it. And when they found it, it was all flooded. It was filled with water. And eventually, they did archaeological work in there. They drained the water out, and now it's a major, huge touristic attraction in China, the Longyou Caves. And I am certain that that's not the only place that exists out there, not only in China, but in other countries too, that there are other places similar to these places. And the one thing these places have in common is that it seems that somebody built all these weird, huge living quarters, structures, and it's always sort of like either underground or inside of a mountain where they hollow it out. They built all these cave systems and stuff. So what were these people trying to hide from when they were doing this? What were they doing? Why so many of these places were built and found all over the world, and they all share these similar characteristics, which is it's like these people knew something was going to happen, maybe perhaps some sort of cataclysm or something, natural disaster, and they prepared for it before it happened, so they could be safe and they could survive whatever it was that was coming. So there are many, many things about our past that we don't know. And chances are we will never know. We will never have the full picture. Because there is nothing written about these things. And if there was ever anything written about it, or any kind of record that was put on writing anywhere about any of these people in any of these places, it still hasn't been found, or if it has been found, It's under lock and key and it's been suppressed. Graham Hancock may have gotten a lot of things wrong. I'm not a fan of his work personally. I know, that he's making a lot of stuff up when it comes down to the dates and all that stuff. But when it comes down to that thing that he talked about, we are a species of amnesia, he's definitely right about that when it comes down to our history, you know, because there's so much we don't know. And even though there's plenty of writings and books and things that were written about certain things and talked about by many different people who were trying to catalog certain events and things about our own history, there is yet so much that has never been found or has not been kept or simply does not exist. Yeah, the whole thing with history to me is absolutely mind-boggling because we don't know. Sorry about that, guys. No idea. Like nobody ever calls me, and then when I'm making a video, someone is trying to call me. That's bizarre. Anyway, I guess there's not much more to talk about when it comes down to this. I've already talked about this before, but if you're like me and you like to try and find out or put some of the pieces of the puzzle together when it comes down to this forgotten history that exists, it's obvious, it's real, it's out there, and it's pretty much everywhere. Every town out there has places like this where there's these buildings and places that exist that we don't quite know how this stuff came about, who made it or whatnot. There's a lot of made up narratives about things of that nature. And then when you begin to go deep into it, there's no records of blueprints and things like that or anything, how the stuff was made, who was involved. And a lot of it is like crickets. Nobody knows. It's really, really bizarre, if you ask me. This universal architecture that is all over the world, right, everywhere, that kind of makes you assume that at some point there was some sort of like connection worldwide where people had the same knowledge because they used that knowledge to make all these buildings that exist that are everywhere with these very specific characteristics and designs that they all look alike, and you can tell that they were most likely made by the same people, or at the very least people with the same knowledge and architectural and design capabilities. It's weird. But nobody questions these things. There's very few that do. Most of the time we walk by places like this and we don't even bat an eye. We don't even know. Because we don't pay attention, right? We're never paying attention to anything. We're always living up here. Thinking about stuff and worrying about things and all kinds of stuff like that, but we don't usually pay attention to things of that nature. But there are some of us that do. So, yeah. I just wanted to revisit this topic today because I think it's important and fascinating to say the least. And I think there will be many discoveries yet to come. The ones that will be made public anyway, right? Because they can't hide every single thing. That perhaps will blow our minds eventually, more than they have already been blown. So, yeah, if you like the content, if you like the topic, don't forget to click a like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. It helps the channel, and I really appreciate that. And I will catch you all on the next one, my friends. Yeah, take care, be safe. Until next time.